Before the video starts, I want to warn you all that from Act 2 the game starts to give us some random jump scares. If you're okay with that, enjoy the video. Hello everyone, it's Crew and welcome to the 12th episode of Doki Literature Club Plus. So I'm back from the school trip and I'm ready to record videos every day again. Let's continue where we started. I don't particularly remember where it is. Oh no! You know what's funny? It's actually random, or something appears differently from. This game is not stable for children or those who are easy to disturb, or something like this. Okay. So I uglily saved the game on the second page, but it doesn't really matter. So we're now playing the poem mini game, and as well we're doing poems from Yuri. Despise, uncanny, infinite, lost, horror, universe, pain, melancholy, maybe not wrath, crimson, for sure, imagination, forgive, intellectual, uncontrollable, essence, judgment, anxiety, existence, unending, embrace, inferno, and that's a perfect poem for Yuri. But I didn't get the achievement from Steam. I think like some of them might be for Sayori, but she just couldn't appear there. And also, an interesting thing will be that in Act 2 I've never done Yuri's route before, so... Oh my god, can you see that? It's also a random thing that he can appear. Instead of a different poster, there's Sayori's death scene. We're quite lucky today, we can say. But that's just terrifying in this game. Okay, so let's get into the story. Hi again, Kruhu. Glad to see you didn't run away on us, huh? Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Kruhu. That also did scare me. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. That's creepy. I think she's also... I don't know, she's standing in a weird position as well, and music is weird. Oh come on, like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. Like if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. What's happening here? Why are we in... I don't know. We aren't standing. Oh god. Okay, yeah, I notice it. It's like rotating. Natsuki Natsuki certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga. Oh, Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga's literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Kruhu. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? You issued Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, can you please make it normal? Perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read? Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now. So it only feels right to me to do something like that, if you ask. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. Ooh, if you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. Oh no, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? It just felt like, well, as vice president and all, then I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you want it. This is... how is this girl accidentally being so cute? I still feel uneasy because of the whole scene. She even picked out a book she thinks I like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you, I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Okay, it's gone. Not everyone's settled in. I expect Monica to kick off on scheduled activities for the club, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I muttered this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... that's a book that you gave me, right? This isn't how it should be, yeah. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about anyway? Well... I look at the cover of a book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There is an ominous looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison, and the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Oh, and guys, why am I reading this? Like, you would think that it's something that also happened in Act 1, but you can already notice she's talking about different things. This is completely different explanation of the book than she gave us before. It's, you know, more rough. Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyways, I'm really into it. The book, I mean. Not the thing about the limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so the dark turn came from nowhere. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Kruhe? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story is the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective, when horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. If something is written in those, like, you know, black shades, when it's something that is really like a bit weird, we can say, and sometimes it contains bad words or something like this, then suddenly I'm rambling already, aren't I? Not again, I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. I'm still interested, I'm still like curious that, like, how is protagonist so, like, behaving so normal? This is a bit weird of a behavior from Yuri. And I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body gets something. I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. Yeah. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange, and please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Yes. Okay, that did scare me. Actually, I'm not kidding. I mean, you don't have to, but... what are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieve a book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah, are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Oh, alright. I keep the book and start the prologue. I soon understand that what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing, maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. Looks like she's reading from my book instead, so sorry. I was just bathing. I didn't read the whole thing, but you can just stop the video and read it. But I think it was something weird, really. Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Yeah, you can't. We can't just read that sentence in black shades. I didn't really mean to. Sorry. I mean, here, this should work, right? I stand at my desk until it's up against Yuri's, and then I hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we are huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and it is in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page? Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. You continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Ah? Okay, this is scary. No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Then never mind. We didn't even get that far yet, so I don't know why that came into my head. Well, I think, like previously she mentioned about something connected with like things with limbs or something, that she's really into it, and now she's having this expression when we wanted to relay that she's related to that character. Then maybe that's what she had on her mind. Haha, you are feeling alright? Huh? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hands on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Kruhe? Did something happen just now? Huh? I have no idea. Yuri's acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything. Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Although she might be a while, so I just figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up, I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, and I slip it back into my bag. Who should I show my poem to first? Choose Natsuki. Thought Natsuki was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. Okay, that was weird. Her eyes popped off. But anyways, Crook, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Hush. What? You expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? Oh, okay. It's something we already had. Like, if there's skip button, then it means we already had it in the previous act or in previous playing this game. So I'm just gonna skip it then, because I mean, if you are watching this episode, you've probably watched previous episodes, or you know what's going on. Okay, let's show the poem to Monica. Okay, here we can't skip, so it's something different. Hi Kruhe, having a good time so far? Yeah, good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better of just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry Kruhe, we're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Oh yeah, that's true. I handed Monica my poem. Great job, Kruhe. I was going oh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. Haha, that's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing though, but sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. That's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I think it's something different. Like, some of the lines were the same, but this thing is... I mean, I'm not 100% sure, I don't remember the whole script, but I think Monica didn't mention these things in Act 1. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly, like earlier. I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for a long time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri, I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Ah? Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Or that's cause I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know. I see. Well, let's read it then. Is it the same one? No, I don't think so. Hole in wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings, but my burnt eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrolling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So what do you think? It's very freeform if... Okay. So from now we can skip. I mean, I'm not really sure about if it was the same poem as we had, but that was short anyway. Let's now show it to Yuri. As you read the poem and notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. I think it's also the same. Is it? Yeah, it's the same. Phew, I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. What's happening to the music? Even if they're just being nice, there is no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I needed getting I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monica is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper showing their respective poems. As I read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrow furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? I'm also curious if their argument was on the day 2nd or 3rd in the Act 1. I think they're starting to argue with each other earlier, but as I'm saying, I'm not pretty sure. Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss your symbolism or something? It's clearly... Sorry guys for the background noise. It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Huh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but I really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it, which people did, by the way. Monica liked it, and Kruche did too, so based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a lot of time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Kruche liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Ah? That's not what I... Ooh, you're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Kruche appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. I was full of myself. I would deliberately go out on my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Ooh, well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Kruche started showing up. Natsuki, this doesn't involve you. Taking out your own insecurities on others like that. You really act as young as you look, Natsuki. Me? Look who's talking, you wannabe agi bitch. Agi? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know? If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try. Wow, be careful or you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad, you already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let Kruche hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. Suddenly Yuri turns towards me, as if she just noticed I was turning here. Kruche, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. How did I... Okay. Okay, we're choosing Yuri. Yeah, Yuri. This is so weird. Please stop. Hey, Kruche, why don't we step outside for a little bit? Okay? Sorry about that. They really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once we're done yelling. Haha, some president I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put out my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Suddenly Natsuki runs out of the classroom. She quickly runs away. Oh dear, well it looks like we're done. I didn't mean it. Yuri is rocking back and forth in her desk with her palms on her forehead. Yuri, I didn't mean it. I believe you. Oh, that's a new expression, I think. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki. Or did. Kruche, please don't hate me. Please, I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today. It's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about it by tomorrow. Completely. Anyway, the meeting is over, so we can go home now if you want. Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something, but she keeps glancing at Monica. You can go first, Monica. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. I'm a president, so I should be the last one out. I'll wait for you to be done. Well, I'm vice president, so... Please let me take that responsibility today. It kind of sounds like you don't want me to, that you don't want me around for something, Yuri. It's not that. It certainly is. It's not that, it's just I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with Kruhu. It would just be embarrassing with you listening. I guess I don't really have a choice, do I? I'm sorry for causing trouble. Okay. So Monica just snapped her fingers and made it to the end of the day. Okay, so let's save the game right now. You can now see that the game is really starting to get weird, but I hope that it's even more entertaining for you. So let's see. Yeah, it's a new poem. I'm glad I read it, because otherwise it would be a little bit weird to just leave this. Okay, anyways, thank you all guys for watching. See you tomorrow in the next episode. Take care and goodbye.